Imagine enormous containers towering over famous buildings and capable of holding over 20,000 containers all at once. But wait, that's not even the largest. We have 3 more gigantic container ships that will leave you in awe, making it hard to believe humans built them. Operated by Evergreen Marine from Taiwan and registered at the port of Panama, the Everlot is a part of the Evergreen A-class container ships. In theory, these ships are supposed to be capable of carrying 23,990 containers, but even that couldn't beat the top contender for that spot, which we'll talk about later. Based on gross tonnage, they are the 3rd largest container vessel ever to be constructed by man, and Evergreen Marine ordered 13 of these ships to be built. 6 of them are supposed to be completed by CSSC, while another 7 are in the hands of Samsung Heavy Industry from South Korea. So far, there are 11 ships in service, and 2 more are being built. With one of these ships in the class, the Ever Ace, Evergreen Marine set the world record for the most containers carried from Yangtian to Europe. The ship was loaded with 21,710 metal boxes, and they made the journey across the world. According to Taiwan News, Samsung Heavy Industries made a deal with a Taiwanese shipping company to build the Ever Ace for the modest price of $150 million back in 2019. The CSSC subsidiary built the Everlot for slightly less, putting a price tag of $145 million. Just like the previous ship, this one measures 1,312 feet in length, but is 202 feet wide. The draft of the ship is 56 feet, which allows the Everlot to carry between 23,990 and 24,004 containers. The weight of those containers cannot exceed 240,000 tons, which is the same as moving 24 Eiffel Towers at the same time. At the bow, the ship has a pair of bow thrusters. These are in place to improve the maneuverability of the Everlot at low speeds. The accommodation bridge is located in the middle of the ship, and there are 2 lifeboats on each side. The accommodation deck is where the crew members will live during deployment. There is a total of 9 decks, and each of them has a different role. The top is called Monkey Island, which is the observation point. Below that, we have the navigation bridge, which houses the steering system, communication equipment, and engine controls. Basically, this is where humans get to control one of the largest structures ever made. Below this is the H deck. It contains the electrical equipment. Decks F and D are designed for accommodation. This is where the crew sleeps. The C deck is for recreational rooms like a gym, locker room, and theater. Near the bottom is the B deck. This is where chefs prepare the food in the galley. They also have a room for food storage in the dining room. The A deck could be called the emergency deck. It's where the fire control station, hospital, and drying room are located. At the very bottom is the U deck, which is where the crew members will store their luggage. The Everlot uses something called hydrodynamic optimization technology. This is what helps the ship achieve a high speed without increasing fuel consumption. Speaking of fuel optimization, the Everlot is powered by the WinGD11X92B main engine, which produces 58,660 kilowatts of energy or 79,500 horsepower. This allows the ship to travel at a speed of around 22.5 knots. Some say the engine is so large that it is bigger than most houses. Just the pistons alone measure 3.1 feet in diameter. To give you some perspective of how big that is, the Guinness World Record for the largest engine has pistons with a diameter of 3.15 feet, or the size of an acoustic guitar. When constructing the largest container ship by gross tonnage, it measures 236,583 gross tons, and it is operated by French CMA CGM. When the ship was built in 2020, it was the largest container vessel powered by liquefied natural gas, or LNG. Speaking of which, the entire construction was centered around the 66,000 CBM fuel tank, which stored the LNG at a temperature of minus 260 degrees Fahrenheit, or minus 161 degrees Celsius. With a fuel tank this size, the tanker is allowed to go from Asia to Northern Europe without ever stopping. That's a 23,400-mile trip. The most important part of building an LNG-powered ship is the isolation of the fuel tank, because the fuel of the ship needs to be kept at unnaturally low temperatures to remain liquid. 2 additional layers of isolation are placed around it. Also, the CMA-CGM Winger D12x92 DF engine was specially built for the LNG-powered vessel. The company called it the most powerful LNG engine ever built for a container vessel. Just like the ship, the engine was so massive it could only be assembled in parts. After putting the crankshaft in place, they needed to test if it would run smoothly. Only after engineers were assured of the engine's efficiency did they place the cover on top. When it was finally assembled, the engine produced 63,840 kilowatt of energy, which is the same as 60 wind turbines or 10 Airbus A380 jet engines. The main reason CMA-CGM decided to go with LNG fuel is because it produces 20% fewer CO2 emissions, 99% fewer sulfur oxides, 92% less nitrogen oxide, and 91% less fine particulate matter. Because LNG is considered the least polluting type of fossil fuel, these vessels are going to be one step closer to zero emissions. Back to the construction process. The container ship had to be assembled in parts because it was so large. These parts were later professionally welded together to prevent any leakage. The LNG tank was also the first section to be placed in the middle of the dry dock, and the rest of the parts followed after. The giant slabs of steel which made the ship's hull were assembled using giant cranes to lift them in place. To give the ship its iconic blue-green livery, special painting cranes were used. Workers then painted the letters by hand onto the ship. By the time they started until the ship's hull was assembled, CSSC, or China State Shipbuilding Corporation, needed about 14 months. Since the ship entered service on September 23, 2020, it means construction began sometime in 2018, taking into account all the strenuous and lengthy sea trials the Jacques Sade had to go through. We've been talking about the ship's enormous size, but we never told you the actual numbers. The Jacques Sade measures 1,312 feet in length and has a beam of 200 feet. This makes it longer than 4 football fields and about 300 feet longer than the USS Nimitz-class aircraft carriers. With its remarkable size, the Jacques Sade can carry 23,112 TEUs worldwide. The price for 9 sister ships that CMA-CGM paid CSSC was $1.2 billion back in 2017. Doing some basic math, that works out to be $133 million per ship. The largest container ship by TEU, or 20-foot equivalent unit, is a Hudong-type container ship operated by the Mediterranean Shipping Company. She's so breathtakingly massive that exactly 24,346 containers can be loaded and transported all across the world. Master of Science ordered 10 of the Hudong-type container ships, but only 2 have been built so far. The Master of Science Arena and the Master of Science Loreto are both registered under the Liberian flag, but they are operated by the Swiss Master of Science. This maiden of the seas is so large, it measures 1,312 feet in length and has a beam of 200 feet. The ship itself has a gross tonnage of 233,000. Constructed by Yangtze Jiang Shipbuilding in Singapore, the Master of Science Arena took its maiden voyage on April 10, 2023, from the port of Guangzhou, loaded with thousands of containers carrying everything from furniture and textiles to heavy home appliances and electronics. It will sail from China to Europe, where it will deliver the containers. We don't know the exact price of each of the vessels, but we did find out that Master of Science got a lease from Boom Leasing in 2020 in China. The deal was made for 4 vessels, and it was worth $600 million. If this deal was only for the 4 Hudong-type container ships, it means that each ship costs an estimated $150 million. Container ships are impressive not only for their size and cargo capacity, but also because they play a crucial role in the maritime industry. If you enjoyed our video, join our membership Paper Pilot Club to support us. You'll get monthly custom paper airplane designs, early access to our videos, and exclusive member patches to stand out in the comments. Click join now and be a part of the adventure today.